Hello and welcome to today's live stream with me, Keiko, and Taki, my
Mama.
mom. So we are in week 2 of Aloha 25 November. This month's color is burgundy red, so it's a lovely darkish red. And today we're painting this here. So
Beautiful.
thank you. The prompt this week is momiji, and maybe you can explain what momiji is in Japan.
Japanese momiji,
Mm.
ahorn.
Mm-hmm.
Deutsch ahorn and
Mhm.
English
Maple
Maple?
leaves. Yes.
maple.
Maple. Mm-hmm.
Maple. Okay.
So momiji in Japan only in autumn, right? In fall. Like October, November.
Yes. Very, very red color.
Mm-hmm.
Change color
Mm-hmm.
from green, yellow,
Mhm.
and begin the November.
Mm-hmm.
Maple
Yes.
will be red.
Yeah.
Red color, wonderful red color.
It's interesting because so right now I'm in Germany and definitely here it's November, but the trees are actually starting to lose their colors. And I think that's probably the case in a lot of areas in the world that November is more winter, but in Japan, in a lot of regions in Japan, it's full fall or autumn, and the maple trees are this gorgeous bright red. So yeah, so inspired by Japanese painting style, kind of loose. We're gonna do those maple leaves and branches. And then I just couldn't resist. I had to add a little bird in there. Okay, let's turn the camera around and I'm gonna show you the supplies and start with the little sketch and the drawing. All right, so you know the drill. It's gonna be a bit shaky when I turn the camera around, and here we go.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I gotta move my phone holder while I'm holding the camera. Could you hold my phone for a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that's very helpful. Having a second hand here, or like third hand, is
I am your assistant.
yes, you are
So?
fabulous. Okay, so let's hook that into the phone holder. Here we go. All right, and please, as always, let me know if you would like me to zoom in, zoom out, audio quality, all these things. Okay, here we go. I have the chat open here as well over on my iPad. Okay, let's see. Hi, Leah. Hi, Nina. Hola. Hi, Sylvie. And hello, Suze und Kerstin.
Sylvie ist wieder da.
Ja, Sylvie ist auch wieder da. So
Hi,
schön.
Sylvie.
Juhu. All right, you guys. Okay, so let's start with the paints. I actually only used 2 colors. So I used a yellow. This is my own Aloha Watercolors handmade color. It's called Ko'oko'olau, which is a Hawaiian native flower, but you can use any yellow you have. If you have kind of like a bright yellow on the cool side, like lemon yellow, that would be perfect for today. Next, I have a mix color. It's called Twilight. It consists out of a red pigment mixed with black magnetite. So if you don't have a color like this, a burgundy color, just mix red with black and you should get to, approximately the same result. And then I have a color that I never really published. It's called Peach Coal. It's actually made of burnt peach pits. So super interesting. So you burn peach pits, that the thing that's inside the peach fruit. Basically make charcoal out of it, and then that's a very, very beautiful, super granulating, very light, fast pigment. It's one of the first pigments that mankind ever made in the past. You know, during those years of cave paintings, they would burn the end of their wooden sticks, for example, and then they would paint the caves with those charcoal sticks. And you can also use bones, for example, to create that kind of same effect. Any kind of black will do today. You do not have to have this very specific pigment. So just any kind of black you have will do. As for paper,
Beautiful.
I'm using a watercolor paper that is wood pulp, so not cotton. And it's called, and I don't know how to pronounce it, I think it's torchon. So look at the surface here. It is a cold pressed paper, but it has kind of an interesting texture. So this is very Germany specific, so I apologize if you're totally not recognizing this paper. It's the same paper I used last week. It's made by one of the art companies we have here in Germany. So art supply stores, kind of comparable to Michael's in the United States, for example. And you know, they have their own paper. And I do have to say, I like this one. Because even though it's a cold press, I kind of find that the surface, it's almost smooth. It's beautiful to work with, especially when you go over everything with colored pencil in the end. Okay, I think I have a question. Let me quickly go over to the chat. Suze says, thank you for adding my time zone to your email notification. Suze, I was so proud of myself that I actually did manage to remember that you guys live in the future. So, Hi, Nicole. Leah says, the color is all about chemistry, actually, but the molecule that makes leaves red does relate to the amount of sunlight. Oh my gosh, you guys have a whole scientific discussion going on in the chat that I missed the beginning of. Hi, Lisa. Hello in the Norden. Sylvie wants to know, Keiko, is your black lava sand on the beach in Hawaii also magnetic? Excellent question. I suppose it probably contains a little bit of magnetism. That would be very typical for a lava, wouldn't it? But I've never tried it. So in Hawaii, there is this belief that you should not, first of all, you should not remove lava rocks from the island. And, you know, if I made paint from the lava and I would chip it out, that would like bring me to the same conclusion. So I know this is, you know, a superstition, I guess, but I'm only a guest in Hawaii, so I kind of want to adhere to the local rules. So I'm not going to mess with the lava. Well, I love the question. And I would say, yeah, it's probably a little bit magnetic. And then Sylvie says, once I got a bit from Tenerife and it was magnetic from the volcano eruptions. Yeah, definitely. So Tenerife, one of the Spanish islands. Okay, so next let's talk about brushes. I have 3 different round brushes today. I'm probably going to paint most of my painting today with this round size 10. 10 is okay because this specific one has an extremely pointy tip. So it kind of depends on what brand you use and how good the tip of your brush is. So you might want to maybe use a smaller brush. And of course, you know, depending on the paper size you use, you want to change the size of your brush. I also have a size 6 and a small size 1 round brushes for the details in the bird mostly. And then for drawing the lines and the leaves, I actually used colored pencil. So I have a bunch of colored pencil. all of these except for this one are water-soluble colored pencil. So I have Faber-Castell, Albrecht Dürer. This is light yellow glaze 104. And this is my favorite ever, the olive green. Yes, olive green yellowish 173. I think this is the fourth one I've been through in like 2 years. So
それはちょっと抹茶グリーンに似てるの。ねえ、いい色ね。I like too.
yeah, Mom just said it reminds her a little bit of a dark matcha green. And then this one is a Caronda Super Color Charcoal Gray 409. And then I have a Derwent Color Soft Lichen Green. And just a little note on Derwent colored pencils. So I'm a big fan of the ink tints and I love the Color Soft. However, I did notice that in general with Derwent, I find snapping a problem. So especially with the chroma flow, it's very unfortunate, but yeah, you sharpen them and then the lead just breaks off. So I've been a bit unfortunate maybe with the batches that I bought personally. However, with the Color Soft, I have the most luck. So these are absolutely fabulous. They're very soft, not water soluble, very like just brilliant. I love them. They're very similar to the what are they called? The American ones, Prismacolor. Yeah, so, and they have fabulous color choices, especially in the greens. All right, let me see. Did I forget anything? I have a pencil. Yeah, I think we can start.
I think
Yes.
today's the background color, this here. This color.
Yeah, the burgundy.
Is so beautiful, like your video, the design.
The preview. Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, I went to a
nice
store
color.
in Munich and I actually bought this piece of paper because I thought it's the perfect color for
very beautiful red.
this month's burgundy red. So today for lunch we had a really big meal and I wasn't even sure I could do the live stream today. We had the typical Bavarian, maybe not Bavarian, German white sausages with pretzels, and I had a beer too, which Weißwürstel, and I never have, I hardly ever drink beer anyways, and then usually not, you know, for lunch. So, man, that almost took me out. But it was super delicious. Sorry, I have to just fiddle with the phone one more time. Oh, here we go. Okay. Just pull out a little bit. All right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with the sketch. So basically, I'm drawing in the lines for the branches and then just approximations of where I want the leaves to be. If you are subscribed to my newsletter, then you have received the template. But as always, I'm also going to show you step by step how you can start with a basic sketch. So, you know, I thought about how to approach this. When I painted this, I actually started with the leaves and then I put the bird in later. However, today, I think we're going to do it the other way around. We're going to start with the bird because I figure if your bird doesn't look great, then you could start a new piece of paper. The leaves are they're kind of easy. The bird is way more difficult. So I figured we just tackle the difficult part first, hoping that you don't get frustrated. But also, you know, if it's really bad, then just start a new piece of paper. All right? Okay. Birds are really easy for me, but I know they're not for anyone who's not used to drawing birds. Okay, let me zoom in for this part so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, thanks, Leah. She says she's excited to follow for the tips. All right. Okay, so what I usually do is I draw kind of like a curved line, which very, very roughly puts my bird in my painting with the correct size. And then I'll just continue with an oval for the head. I think beginners usually draw the head of the bird too large. So make sure you double check later when you have the overall shape of your bird that your head is not too big. So then you add another kind of like an egg-shaped body. And now you can refine the shape a little bit. So I want the body. Yeah. I want the chest of the bird to be very round here on this side.
Chest up.
The chest, yeah, the breast.
Brust. Chest.
Da rollen wir auch das R so schön, ne? And down here, it's kind of more like a straight line almost up to this point, then curve again. This is where we'll have one leg come out. And then maybe a third of an inch further. And then this is where the wing will be. And the wing will connect this spot here and this spot there. So we'll draw a curved line. And finish our wing. The tip of the wing stands out a little bit like this, out from the body. And the tail. Now I can definitely say that the head of my bird is a bit too big. And it's also not really the right angle. So here from my body, I want to kind of move the head of the bird a bit more to the right side. Nice curve here for the top of the head. And then you want to draw one line starting at the eye to the tip of the bill. So you'll just go like this. And it's going to be on the same height. So this is where the center of the eye will be. You'll just draw around that dot I just made there. And then fill out the bill shape with kind of like two triangles like that. And now again, just look at so right now it looks a bit like a pigeon, I feel like, but that's going to change once we add the colors. And I also need to make the head a bit higher, the forehead. So oftentimes it's really just very small changes that make your bird look like a different bird. So we're going to go from pigeon to this warbling white eye, which is a rather, much smaller bird, just by changing the shape of the head. Maybe that bill is a bit too long too. I mean, it's probably like this. Yeah, so, feel free to erase. Try again. Just because you're using watercolor paper, make sure you don't erase too much. You might want to use a kneaded eraser. That's a bit more gentle with the paper fibers. Okay, and actually gonna change the angle of my wing one more time too. But see, now that I have the overall shape of my bird, I can look more closely at, for example, the reference I painted earlier or a reference photo, and then slightly change the angles. And it's going to make a difference. You'll see it later. if I wanted to be
Cute,
100% warbling white eye, I would now move that eye again, but I'm not concerned with this too much right now. So, I mean, if it weren't a live stream, I would probably fiddle with it a little more. But, you know, I feel like it's fine. Do you have any questions about drawing birds, or is there something you struggle with especially when you're drawing birds? So maybe I can help. Just let me know. And I know that some of you told me today, of course, the ones that are not here today, that they want to watch this stream on replay later. So whenever you have a question, just feel free to put that question in the comments too, and I'm going to try and answer. And you know, sometimes I can even answer the question in the next live stream. Okay, let me see what you guys say in the chat. Sue said, I had trouble with a bird last time we sketched one. I'm determined not to cheat and use the one from the email though. It's not cheating. It's not cheating. I think we all need months to practice. And if you copy something in the beginning, it's not cheating because you're learning. And you know, at some point, you can do maybe just a very faint outline and then put the reference away and then, you know, draw the rest. Just don't look at it as cheating, you know. I mean, you can also always, you can push yourself, of course, to work more freely, but I also don't want you guys to just feel bad, you know, for using a reference or a template, because it's not. We all need the practice time. Hi, Susan. Susan says, first snow in Michigan today. Oh my goodness. They have snow.
Oh, cold, cold.
Have to just listen right now. Busy day. Susan is busy on Sunday.
Oh. Keiko-chan, you can teach us so very well. Very nice.
Maybe I should have you draw a bird with us. Do you want to draw too?
Kawaii.
You want to paint?
Huh?
You can draw here.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I can try.
You should try. Yeah, let me
Yes,
give you a pencil. I have a very nice pencil here.
Yeah.
Or you can draw the maple leaves maybe here with this one. This is a very nice one. Let me give you a piece of paper. Nice paper. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. But Mom wants to join, so of course I am totally stoked about that. Hi, does it look like? I know. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's so.
No pressure. Just fun. Okay, so Leah says, for me, I got too worried about capturing all the pretty wing feathers, but you always simplify and hint at them in a beautiful way. I do that, don't I? I don't think I've ever bothered with bird feathers. Ever. So yeah, I'm typically the girl who just does shapes first with watercolor and then do details with colored pencil, but honestly, not even bother with the details too much. Let's put in the maple leaves, and I'm just gonna put in, you know, just hints with my pencil where I want to place them. So just so that I know approximately where the leaves start, where they end, like that. And then one's gonna be on this side. And we'll put a few in here. One and a smaller one over here. So when I did the original painting for this, I used probably 5 different reference photos with red maple leaves. You know, in one photo, I liked how the branch was curved in the photo, but I didn't like maybe the shape of the leaves too much, so I consulted another photograph. I also saw that some maple leaves in Japan have only 5 partitions of the leaf, and some have 7, so I wasn't even aware of that. So see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which gives them this very particular look, and they also are very skinny, so they look very different than the maples that grow in more temperate climates. Maybe not temperate, but like in Europe or in America, for example. Okay, so I think we're good. We got all our lines in. Yep, bird looks great. Yeah. No, it's super cute. Oh my goodness. Can I show them? She says, not yet. Okay, you guys, I do not have an eraser here today. So what I would usually do is I would definitely go over this and erase the pencil lines to where they're not that pronounced anymore. But I really don't mind for the live stream today. It's fine. Okay, Lisa says, dinner is ready, so I have to leave. See ya. Bye, Lisa. Good appetit. Yeah, I mean, honestly, after this huge sausage pretzel beer deal for lunch, all we had was a little salad for dinner. I could not face anything else today. That was it for me. I forgot to mention that I'm using a ceramic mixing plate. Forgot to mention that in the beginning of the live stream. It's not necessary that it's ceramic, but I do love how you can see the color. So if you use a metal plate or plastic, you know, sometimes the color starts to bead, like little pearls of color, and you don't actually see the color. And that's why I really love working with ceramic glazed palettes. Okay, so I just colored the whole bird with my yellow paint. I watered it down a bit so it's not too intense, but you guys all know watercolor dries very lightly or lighter than when you apply it wet. So it's gonna be very bright at first, and once it's dry, it's gonna be a bit more subtle. I just grabbed some of my black paint. I'm gonna mix it in with my yellow to create a green shade, and it's a bit too dark, so let's add some more yellow. I want kind of like a nice light moss green. You can even add a little bit of the red. So I do love adding red to my green mixes for some warmth and also to mute the color a little more. So basically this green is a mix of all 3 colors I'm using today. And now while the paper is still a little moist, I'm dropping in my green mix here in the head. So this both serves as shadows and also to show that the bird feathers are actually a bit more muted and green in that area. I just realized I made a little mistake. So if you guys are not there yet, please remember to leave a little bit of white space around the eye. This is a very distinct
weiße Stelle.
feature for this bird. So it has a white ring around its eye. If you already are where I'm at, don't worry. You know, you can use a white jelly roll pen later or white gouache. That's totally fine. But sometimes the advantage of being a bit slower is that you can correct things that I'm making, you know, mistakes of. Okay, so these are basically the first 2 layers of our bird. Everything yellow, and then adding a few more, a little bit more definition with this green that I mixed. Now we're gonna let this dry, and we're gonna come back with the colored pencil later. You might be surprised to see that I'm not actually doing much more with the bird in watercolor, but yeah, I'm really loving to do details with colored pencil later on. Let me just do one more thing though. The legs we can do in watercolor. For the leg color, I'm mixing my red, my burgundy red, with a little bit of black. And that gives you an interesting kind of purplish maroon color. Your bird is so cute, Mom. I actually want to cut out her bird and put it on my painting. It's so adorable. Kawaii. Kawaii tori.
Weil du so gut erklären kannst. Ich habe schon ganz genau aufgepasst, was du da
I think it still looks a little bit like a pigeon. Sieht ein bisschen aus wie eine Taube, ne? Mein Vogel heute. Da lacht sie. Da lacht sie. Yeah. He's laughing. Yeah, I know why. I think it's because the neck is too long. See the neck, the Hals ist zu lang, ne?
So.
The neck is too long, which makes the whole bird. Yeah, that's
Good.
why it looks like a pigeon.
Mine auch zu lang?
No, yours is perfect. God, it's so cute.
Cute?
It is, yes.
嬉しい。
Adorable.
はい、ちょっと。これ、ちょっと待って、これ、何色これ。
何?
What color?
黒。これ。
黒。
So, okay. And again, if you're not at this step yet, I mean kind of like if you haven't drawn the bird at all yet, then try to make the neck a bit shorter. Yeah. I didn't even realize that until I, just looked at it 2 seconds ago. You want to show your bird?
Hi.
Da-da-da-da! Look at this cutie! It is really cool, Mom.
Only with pencil.
Oh, yeah, but I love the pose, and it's so dynamic, It's really cool.
Good.
Totally love it. I think it should say something, like konnichiwa, momiji daisuki.
もみじ大好き。はい。
Something. You want to write
I
it?
love.
書いて。
もみじ大好き？日本語で？はい。
ちょっと待って。You want a pencil? A pen? I have a nice pen you can write with. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. I guess today's stream might take a little longer, huh? Well, maybe you can use the pen that you have. Or maybe this one. How about this one? Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
もみじ大好き。そうだそう調べ。そうね。もみじ。
いや、ちょっと待って。ちょっと書きなさい、これ。Der ist recht dünn, ne? Also, ich habe sonst auch dickere, aber ich weiß nicht wo. that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move over to the leaves. So whenever you draw branches and leaves, you'll of course always have the option to draw the branches first and then the leaves. But honestly, I find it easier for me, you know, to very faintly do the branches. Just one tiny line with my watercolor, and I don't even, you know, it's really very faint.
So it's good. もみじ大好き。
かわいい。いい。
うん。
Then I add the leaves, and then I come back and make the branches look more pronounced. It's almost like a first sketch with watercolor, drawing these branches in. And I don't want to be too final with that, because some of the leaves are gonna kind of wrap around the branch, and some of the leaves will basically cover the branch. So I'm gonna be kind of careful with my first approach to the branches. Also, I'm holding my brush very loosely, no death grip, kind of upright, and I'm pushing down, lifting up on my brush in order to create lines that are thicker and thinner and don't look too neat. I kind of want to have a little bit of a variation in my line strength for this part. They love your bird. See? Leah says, cutie, cute. And Sylvie says, sweet bird. That looks really nice with the Japanese. She's writing Japanese now. This looks really cool. See? That's so cool. I wish I could do that. When I write Japanese, it looks like a 5-year-old writes it. They're probably better than me.
Wie heißt denn das? English?
Oh,
Momiji.
maple leaf.
M?
Like maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. I like, yeah.
I can write it down for you.
これ、もみじ。
Mm-hmm.
ここ書いて、もみじ、ここ。
Oh, I was just gonna...
Picture. あ、メープル？はい。はい。
All right, next. I'm still using my round 10 brush. And now we're gonna go into the yellow. So with watercolor, usually you always want to start with the lightest color in your painting. So in this case, it's gonna be the yellow. And I chose 2 leaves that have yellow in them. So one is this one here, and one is the one up here. Okay, so this one here, let's start by making a dot. Hold your brush upright. And then from the tip of one of the leaves, go into your center dot. You want to kind of think of a hand with splayed fingers, you know, like this. When you draw you paint your leaf, and make sure that the parts of the leaf are kind of skinny. So skinnier than the maples that you find in other parts of the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 1, so let's add that here.
No red pencil. Red.
Oh,
red pencil.
I have red. Yeah, I have kind of like a pinkish red. So
Red.
yeah, this one is not very good, Taka-chan. So maybe this one is much better. Oh, okay. Just for the heart. This one's very good. This one. All right, so I'm just gonna re-wet my leaf. So I'm talking a lot today, very distracted. So just re-wetting my leaf so it's wet all over. And now we can go back in and add a little bit of red. Just a little bit. Make sure the paint and the paper are still wet while you do that, and then you don't want to touch that anymore. You'll just let the watercolor do its thing. And then over here you notice that my branch stops here. So I'm adding the same red mix and connecting the branch to my leaf here, and I'm pushing the pigments around so I have a nice blend. Okay, let's go and add a leaf here right by the bird. Gonna add a little bit more paint. This one's gonna have only 5 parts to the leaf. I'm not sure if that is actually something that you would see in nature, or if if you have a 7-fingered leaf, maple leaf tree, then it would all be the same leaves. I assume so, huh? A maple leaf tree that has only leaves with 7 parts to it would not all of a sudden have like 5-fingered leaves. If you find this step too hard, in order to find the place where exactly you start your leaf or the individual parts, then by all means, please feel free to sketch the leaves in as well. I chose this method because I personally really love to keep this part loose. So I, on purpose, don't do a lot of sketching for this part because I really want the leaves to have this kind of fluidity to them. But whatever you do with painting, I want you guys to feel most comfortable. And if loose leaves stress you out, then by all means, please go ahead and make a few more lines with your pencil at first. Yes? Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's so adorable. Momiji daisuki.
I like maple very much.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh, Mama Jozu. Kawaii. Oh, this should be a little card.
First time ist nicht so schlecht, ne?
Ja, super. Ist wirklich gut.
Very first time.
Ja, ist ein bisschen Manga-Style.
Manga.
Total süß, wirklich.
Thank you, my
Gosh,
dear.
I love it. Yes.
My sweet,
Okay, put this
sweet,
here.
sweet daughterline. Also für erstes Mal bin ich zufrieden.
Ja, ich finde den total schön.
Weil du allererste wie Linie und so Vogel, du hast so gut erklärt. You can.
Ja, und dann schaut meine aus wie eine Taube, ne?
Fantastic. You can teach us very, very good, very well. Your speech, oder wie sagt man denn? Erklären. Your speech. You speak. You can speak so good to us. Also, I can understand you very, very well. Very good, oder wie?
Very well.
Also gar nicht so schlecht, ne? So, wenn ich so sehe, schau.
This is so entertaining. You should always be in my live streams. It's so fun.
So richtig brutal Anfänger bin ich doch nicht, oder?
Nee, du hast ja auch lang Kalligrafie gemacht. Das
Ja,
ist
die
natürlich.
Kalligrafie, Design her habe ich keine schlechte Feeling, ne?
We just talked about how she's not a complete beginner just because of the fact that she did a lot of Japanese calligraphy when,
Yes.
like on a professional level. And just, things like holding the brush, finding the shape, all these things. It's not totally alien to her.
Yeah, good feeling for design. I can, as my mother gave me
The
the
talent.
talent. Yes. Sie, sie konnte ganz toll Kalligrafie malen.
Yeah, and then you also studied a lot. So yeah, it was a lot of practice, right?
Yes.
Years and years.
I love to write to calligraphy.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not just talent, it's
Yes.
also
Traditional
years of practice.
culture,
Mm,
Japanese.
yeah, I can't do
culture.
it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You are really great in calligraphy. Yeah.
Oh, so great is obvious.
No, you are.
No.
Okay, so while we're chatting, I'm doing kind of like the same thing. I'm holding my brush upright. I try to be very loose, which I know might be a bit uncomfortable, maybe even for you if you're used to holding your brush more with a tight grip. Just try, slowly, bit by bit, try to be a bit more playful and loose with your brush. Another thing I can recommend is that before you go and jump into your painting, just do some warm-up exercises on a scrap piece of paper, so you don't feel like you're like walking into your painting and you have to just pull off perfect loose leaves and you haven't even warmed up.
So the Japanese momiji, when the momiji 大好き that the love is bessere Ausdruck. Also nicht I like, sondern I love.
Yeah, but you said I like maple very much, which is very much stronger than just saying I like. So I like very much. It's almost like saying I love.
Okay,
Isn't it?
I understand.
Let's ask the pros. I'm not
I
a native
understood.
speaker. I should actually not.
I see.
I should ask the native speakers first. So you guys,
Siehst du, du kannst so toll erklären. Also,
what is the difference between
your
I like
talented
something
talent.
very much and I love it? Is there a big difference, or would you guys say it's very close?
Nee, so kommt drauf an, was für einen Moment du hast. Also I love and I like very much.
Okay, let's make these overlap. Okay, so I just made the decision to have this leaf here be on top of the yellow one, which is possible because red is a bit darker than yellow, and I can just kind of paint over my yellow leaf here.
Das finde ich toll hier, so diese 4 Blätter, alles so verschiedene Unterstriche, dunkel und hell und so. Das ist toll. Das kannst du so gut. Ja, auch hier, ne? Und die, ganz toll.
It's also the paint, because the paint is made from different pigments, and the black really settles down into
ein bisschen black mix
pigment that you can actually see how it's almost like flocculating, not granulating. It's very interesting, just kind of pulling together in one spot and creating this really interesting shading of the leaf. So I think a lot of people, when they first buy granulating paints, think the paint is broken because it's just not behaving in the way they would expect it. But I really find that in nature painting, you can use granulating paint to your advantage. I mean, just think of sand, rocks, tree bark. There's so many things you can put granulating paints to great use. And maybe you didn't think of leaves to use with granulating paints, or you didn't think of using granulating paint for leaves, but I find it very interesting. Okay, I'm still with my number 10 round brush. I'm doing the same motion. So I start with the tip, very light pressure, almost no pressure, hardly touching the paper. And then I push my brush down and I'm utilizing the belly of the brush to create my leaf shape. You can also do it the other way around. You can start at the center and go outwards to create your leaf. I think it's kind of like a matter of preference. The direction you pull your brush or you paint away from your body. It could be that you feel more comfortable starting in the center of the leaf. You know, it gives you more or better orientation going outward rather than starting somewhere on the white paper and then having to kind of find your way back. So try both. I advise you just try both ways and see what works better for you. And if you like, you can drop in yellow while the red paint is still wet. Or you can just, leave it all red. You can also add more pigment if you want to create darker leaves. Something like this. Maybe a darker center of the leaf. This paper, because it's not cotton paper, dries very, very fast. So in order to create more smooth blends, I kind of have to re-wet the whole leaf.
Oh, I know that now. My mistake. Where is my mistake to painting? This time, this bird is body. I painted too long. Body.
No, there's no mistake.
Doctor. That is mistake.
No, it's not a
Süßigkeit,
mistake.
cute.
Hi.
Weil es so kurze Body und ein bisschen molliger ist. Deshalb ist diese besonders niedrige Ausdruck. Yeah.
Okay, so Mom says this bird is especially cute because it's kind of
body is
round.
very short.
Very short, everything.
And das Gesamtheit.
It looks kind of like a puffball.
Also,
yeah.
Ergebnis
I know.
is so sweet.
But your bird is really cute.
Yes. Too long body. My bird.
No.
Too long body.
No, it's perfect.
It's
perfect.
Also jetzt habe ich plötzlich Fehler entdeckt.
Well, you can try one more time. Do you want to draw another one? One more time?
Ich musste so konzentrieren. Oh, das war Stress.
Was? Das war doch noch kein Stress.
Das war Riesenstress.
Riesenstress.
I had very
She says, I'm not going to draw another bird because it was stress drawing the first one.
No, a little bit stress, but
a little bit stress.
I had my main was very big fun. I had very big fun. Fun.
It's short.
To painting.
It was fun. It was lots of fun.
Yeah.
Fun. If you say fan, it is the fan, like this fan for the air, or the fan, ventilator. Yeah. So fun.
I hope I had big fun.
Yeah. Okay, Patricia says, happy accident. Yeah, that's basically the motto of my whole painting life is an accumulation of happy accidents. Absolutely. Who doesn't love Bob Ross? I mean,
めっちゃ可愛いこのことで。可愛い。
Arigato.
Sweet, good.
Okay, I just dipped my brush into my black paint. Sorry, that's off camera. So let's put it in here. And now I'm going over the branches that I want to be that I want to have a bit more pronounced. Right now, it's not strong enough. I want more contrast. So I'm just going to go over the parts in between the leaves. When you do something like that, always keep an eye on your overall painting. So just don't just go and paint over everything. You have to just keep an eye on the rest and see and kind of feel out where you want a bit more paint, more contrast.
You have to, heißt du musst.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have to.
Mm-hmm.
Und was hast du gesagt weiter? You have to?
You have to look at your whole painting always for the balance.
Zentai balance.
So this,
yes.
yeah.
I
So even if you're painting just one part, you want to always look.
Immer wieder betrachten, ne?
Yes. A lot of people also say it's good to step back from your painting occasionally, or even just stand up if you're sitting down to paint.
Das ist natürlich sehr wichtig, der Balance, ne? Balance.
Yeah, especially when you're painting something that's a bit inspired by Asian or Japanese style.
Ja, ich kann sehr gut verstehen. I understand very well.
I think a lot of these Japanese, Chinese, Korean paintings are really all about balance.
Yes.
I love how they sometimes utilize very, very skinny shapes of their paper and just place everything in such a beautiful flowing way.
So their realm is so very important.
Yeah, the negative space. Yeah, exactly. So the white space is just as important as the space you paint.
Yes, balance.
And an overall balance. Yeah. So for the balance, actually, I should have probably put the bird more on the right-hand side, not in the center so much. There's always, room for improvement. Okay, I'm grabbing some yellow. And now we're going to do the more abstract background. So in my original painting process, I finished everything, including the bird and the colored pencil. And then I was like, it's not enough. It was too much white space. I wanted something that's a bit free and wild in there. I wanted to fill some of the background. I also wanted to give the impression that you have more going on in the background. There's more leaves. So I'm just dropped in some yellow very quickly with my size 10 round brush. And while everything is still wet, I'm going over it with my red.
I love this background very much. I love
me too.
This painting.
But
type.
Honestly, it's your decision. If you don't like this kind of abstract wild background, try to not paint it, try to leave it out and see how you like your final painting. Finish everything else first, then come back, take another look, and then you can still add the abstract background if you like. The same goes for the splatters. I did a kind of like a big splatter party here. Again, please just judge for yourself if you want that or not. There are different ways to add splatters. You can use a pen and then just kind of do this, and you'll have a lot smaller splatters. What I did with these ones is actually I held my paper and I kind of did this motion with my brush very quickly from the side.
Very effectful.
Yeah, but it can also really mess up your painting. So if you want to make sure your bird is not affected, you should put a piece of paper on top of your bird. Just cover it to protect it from the splatter.
Yeah.
or like really truly, you do not have to add splatters. It's totally up to you. Again, you can just also leave it for last.
Fantasy, die Kreativität, Fantasy and Kreativität,
Creativity.
Creativity.
Okay, Patricia wants to know, is it sumi, the Japanese drawings with ink? Yeah, so
Yeah, Sumi.
Sumi is actually
painting. Sumi, yeah,
sumi
yes,
is actually the name of the ink. So sumi means this specific ink, and then sumi sumie.
Sumi Mararai.
Sumi
painting.
Yeah, sumie is the like painting, the Japanese
Wonderful,
ink painting.
beautiful art. Yes. So beautiful, so very poesy and
So yeah,
atmosphere, very nice
sumi
atmosphere.
is the
Yes,
the black
Japanese.
ink, and then sumi, and just add an e like this, then that signifies the painting, or the the art of ink painting
Painting
in Japan.
with black tint,
Ink.
black ink.
Ink.
Genau,
Yeah. And a lot of people still make their own ink. They make it from a hard ink block, and then you have to
It's sumie is
work for your ink.
very old traditional art.
Yeah.
Very, very long and old traditional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. As I said, I love how balanced the creations are, and how they play with the white space and play with really interesting paper formats, the long scrolls and everything. It's
So
just
sometimes
amazing.
it's influence from
Influence.
Buddhism.
From Buddhism?
Hintergrund.
Oh yeah, really?
Indirect.
For sumie?
Yeah, so finger
Really? Oh, okay.
in temple.
No. Yeah.
Temple.
Oh, that's what you
Buddhist
mean. Yeah.
Temple or så diese ganzen Türen.
Yeah.
Papier,
Oh, okay.
Tür hat
Now I know what
begonnen,
you mean.
damalige, very famous artist,
Yeah.
Sumie artist.
Yeah, like Hokusai. And
Temple
actually, that was
hat
woodblock
eingeladen
printing.
und
Sorry.
malen lassen.
Yeah.
Genau.
Okay,
So
so translating what Mom just said, she said that the tradition of sumie was also partly due to the fact that in Buddhist temples, artists were invited to paint the paper doors in the temple. And if you've ever seen photos of Japanese temple paintings inside, it is incredible. I mean, those paintings are
sometimes in the Shirosne,
castle, in the castles too. Yeah, like murals spanning whole rooms, and often connected to a story. So there's like a story element in these paintings as well. So I just sneaked in a colored pencil, which I did not introduce in the beginning. This is a Madder Red Rose 142 by Faber-Castell, another water-soluble watercolor pencil.
Sorry, wer sagte von Sumie?
Patricia asked
Patricia,
that.
You have a good feeling, and you are, can you say, your feeling is so fine. Thank you very much. Sumie.
She says, I know the word sumimasen. I do not know if I write this correct. Yeah, you do. It's not the same meaning, though. So, interestingly, in Japanese, sometimes even if you pronounce the word in the same way, it's not the same meaning because it's written in a different way.
Ja, das ist mir gedacht hat, ist, ich finde total schön.
Ja.
Besonders
So she says, I worked for a Japanese company and remember some words. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you would know how to say konnichiwa, arigato,
Oh, fine. Thank
sumimasen.
you. Arigato,
Mm-hmm.
Patricia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would teach you that for sure. Okay, so with your colored pencil, especially if you have a watercolor pencil or a water-soluble pencil, you'll have an easy time going over your watercolor sketch, even if the paper is still wet, because these types of watercolor pencils are very soft.
Das ist toll.
And I'm gonna zoom in a little more, okay? Just so we can see that my strokes, again, they're very uneven. I'm using different pressures. See that? So my line is not just, I'm not just drawing a line like that. I usually never do that especially not in paintings like this. I always try to vary the pressure to make the line look a bit more interesting, not just one solid line. And then you also want to taper it out towards the tip of the leaf. So you kind of loosen the pressure, you lighten the pressure, so it's just a very faint line towards the tip of your leaf.
So fine.
And I think this type of line makes your whole painting look even more loose and more fluid. If you, for example, paint with another medium like gouache or more in an illustrative style, then maybe you want to go for a solid line. It really depends on the style that you prefer, and I think also the purpose your drawing or your painting is for. But I really believe if you want to keep it loose, then your line should also have this kind of looseness to it.
I think special beauty by you is different, very many different art kind to painting with pencil and watercolor and
Mixing the media?
yes,
Yeah, I love that.
Sometimes very good pressure and sometimes ganz leicht.
Yeah.
So
Hardly any pressure.
This is so wonderful. Your Einfall, also die Fantasie und
You guys, if you ever need a pick-me-up, a mascot, or really somebody to cheer you on, I'm always gonna invite my mom to the stream because
I love your painting.
see, it's like, oh my gosh, instant gratification. Just invite her, and you'll just walk out of the meeting with a big smile on your face.
Ich unterstütze ja deine Malkunst voll und ganz, ne?
So just for you guys to make note is within your leaf, the point where the veins merge is not at the top, okay? It's kind of like in this, almost in the center of the biggest part of the leaf. So I hope I made this clear. So it's not, they're not converging here, they're converging more inside the leaf. I didn't notice that at first. So in my first leaf, I think you can see it here. I started the lines at the top, and I mean, it's fine because, I drew the branch over it, but it looked weird to me. And then I looked at the reference photo really closely, and I realized that the starting point of the leaf is further in the center of the leaf. These are just tiny details that, might not be relevant at all, but I love noticing these things, knowing that they are there, how they're done, and then, I can also draw it differently if I want to, but I just love knowing about it. So, if I want to break the rules, I can, but I theoretically know how it's done correctly. All right. Yeah, you know, I don't want to say correctly because I think in painting there is no, at least for me, there is not really a correct way. I guess there is sometimes with some, maybe not correct. There's always an easier way, I think, you know, once you know your medium, once you know your paper, your paints, how to use them, you'll just have an easier time. And I guess you could call that, you know, a correct way of using materials. But for me, playfulness, testing things out, changing things up is always in the forefront over the urge of doing things correctly, for sure. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of red pencil to some of my branches for a little bit more interest. This is totally optional. Can add some of the green. So I'm pretty happy with my leaves at this point, and we can go back to our little bird and finish the little bird. Okay, any of you have any questions about, you know?
Isnoffågel måste perfektionera, ne? Som skulle säga där.
Yes.
Mm.
Any questions so far about the process with the leaves? I hope you guys are not struggling too much. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to zoom in again. I'm going to zoom in on the bird. Slight angle. Oops. I think I might need a new phone holder. This is kind of wobbly. All right. Okay, I'm mostly going to work with my olive green color pencil and the charcoal gray, which is almost like a black. So let's start with the bill. I'm just going to go over it, make it darker. At this point, it's also possible to change the shape a little bit with the help of your colored pencil. So for example, you can drag your bill further into the head, which is actually what these birds look like. They have a black streak reaching from the eye to the bill. So you want to connect that. If it's too fiddly for you to work with a colored pencil for the eye, please feel free to use a fine liner. You do not have to try sharpen your colored pencil forever so you can, you know, achieve the kind of sharp tip that you need. If too much of a struggle, just use a fine liner. I'm using a fine liner right now because I'm a bit tired and, you know, I can't really, don't have that much control anymore. So I'm just gonna make it easier on myself. Okay, and then with my fine liner, I'm adding a few little hairs, dark hairs around the eye. Let me see if I have a white.
Kan ich meine fertig machen?
Natürlich, bitteschön.
Danke. 楽しい。
I just want to do a little experiment to see if this white colored pencil makes a difference at all. Tiny little bit. Yeah, it's probably not enough. Yeah, I think we just need to go in there with gouache or a white jelly roll pen. Okay, so I grabbed a white jelly roll pen to add some white around the eye. And if you have white gouache, I think that would probably work the best. Or, you know, really just don't worry about it. You can also just make the surrounding parts of the bird a lot darker, and then automatically the part will lighten up a little bit. So if you take your green pencil and, you know, you darken the head of your bird all around the eye area. This part will naturally lighten up a little bit. The most elegant way, of course, would have been to just leave the area around the eye white, which I totally forgot. Okay, so with my green colored pencil, I'm going over the areas that are already dark, adding a little bit of shadow here at the bottom of the belly. And in order to make the wing stand out a little bit from the body, I'm switching to my black colored pencil and I'm adding a pretty dark shadow right here under the wing. And as soon as you add a shadow like this, it's going to make whatever is on top of it stand out more, or like be more detached from the body.
難しいおいげライン。すごく難しい。
It's a bit more oval shape. You know, it's not completely, you drew it very round, but it's more like this.
ああ、
Yeah. Don't do too much. You should leave it. Yeah, don't overwork. Especially don't overwork the eye. It's very easy to overwork small parts. And then there will be too much focus on it if it looks too overworked.
アンフィンガーフェラー。
No, this happens to everyone in any stage of their art career, believe me. Overworking is very common. I do that too sometimes. Oh, it's true. Switching to my green pencil again, and then this is what Leah said in the beginning. I don't bother with wing feathers. I just make scribbly lines. It's true. Look at that. This is all I'm going to do for the feathers. And then with my Durant Color Soft, this is not a water-soluble color pencil. This is a regular one. I'm going to add a bit more texture. So this color pencil is a lot more waxy than the other ones, which also means it leaves a little bit of a different texture on the watercolor than these watercolor pencils do. So it's almost like the difference between wax crayons and a water-soluble medium. So if I went over this again and again and I layered many layers of this colored pencil, it would almost look like I worked with a wax crayon. I do love combining different textures and different materials. So I love the combination of water-soluble colored pencils and also regular pencils because it does create different textures on top of the paper and on top of the watercolor. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. We got some shadow under the wing here on the tail. I'm going over my black part with my yellow pencil so I can get a bit more blending here. All right. Adding a little bit of a shadow onto the top part of the leg, the part that is right underneath the body. So assuming the light comes kind of like from the top right. You'd have shadows under the bill, under the wing, here, under the tail, belly, and the top of the legs.
Good.
Okay, let me try that Jelly Roll pen one more time. Might be able to add another layer of white. Sometimes you just really have to be patient and wait for everything to dry before you can add the ink of the Jelly Roll pen.
Is this white?
Yeah,
White
it's
color?
white.
Right.
Opaque white.
Mm.
And then last but not least, okay, I'm using another color again because the eye has a little bit of brown, but I think I just made it too black. But in theory, there's a little bit of a brown part in the eye. Okay.
Sehr schön.
Okay, Sylvie has to go. Good night. Yeah, I think we're actually done with the stream too, so this was great timing, Sylvie. Let's zoom out. I always love to do a little comparison between my paintings. Okay.
Thank you very much, Keiko-chan.
You are more than welcome. Thanks for joining us today, Mom. That was so sweet.
Dankeschön.
Can I have your bird?
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 little birds today. So yeah, I think definitely this is the cutest bird because
Yes,
of
yes.
the shape. I did manage
Cutest.
to
Yes.
make it a
Perfect.
bit more round.
Mhm.
This one here definitely, you know, the neck is longer, so it looks a bit different, but I still like it. I do like actually it has more texture. I find that pretty interesting.
Yes.
So overall, this has more of a watercolor look,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the shape is more,
Especially cute.
it's cuter.
Yes.
I do love the vibrancy of the yellow in the
Oh,
leaves
this is
here.
very fine.
I love the splatters in this one, so I
Mhm.
think I might add bigger splatters here too. I do love both paintings. I think this is a bit more refined. The balance is a little better. But no surprise, you guys. I mean, live streams are always a lot of talking, interacting. So the focus is definitely not so much on the painting and rather than, you know, totally different than when I'm just sitting there by myself and focusing on nothing but the painting.
I love both.
Yeah, I like them both too.
Yes.
I do like this leaf
So
here
beautiful.
and the texture and the colored pencil outline. I think this is probably my favorite leaf, and this
Yes.
one as well.
I like this.
Yeah,
Beson is special.
Mhm.
I like
it's
this.
very nice and
Yes.
bright. Yeah, and then this is my favorite. This is the best.
God.
I love it. I'm gonna
Oh my.
cut it out and put it in my sketchbook or
Thank
something.
you. Thank you. Arigato, arigato.
That's true. It's adorable. It's
I am
so
a happiness mama in the world.
Aw.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Thank God.
All right, you
Thank God.
guys. Love to all of you. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's hilarious. Okay, you guys.
I'm so happy. Do you
I had
know?
lots of fun.
Yes, I had a big fun.
The next couple weeks are gonna be quite busy here before I head back to Hawaii. But I will definitely do a couple live streams again in December. And as for the color for December, you know, I figured why not do the other color? Remember, I did this poll over on Instagram asking you if you want the burgundy red or the mustard yellow. And it was so close that I figured let's just do one in November. That was the winner, burgundy red. And then let's do the other one in December. So I already have a few prompt ideas, but as always, please write me your ideas in the comment or shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'd also really appreciate if you leave me a thumbs up for this video. A tiny little comment down below would really help people find my videos. Would highly appreciate that. Stay tuned. One more thing, I do have paints here in Germany, so I brought paints with me from Hawaii. I'm happy to mail them out. So the shop is open, but there is a special link. So if you check the description box down below, there is a link to my website. And I think at this point have around 30 different items in the shop for you. So if you're located in Germany or in the European Union, this would be an excellent chance for you. If you have never painted with Aloha watercolors, like this would be your best opportunity, because you will get around all and any import tax fees, and the shipping costs are also reduced. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. I almost forgot, but I've said it, and you find the link down in the description box. All right, have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you very much for your watching for my daughter Keiko-chan. Thank you.